Bhaktajano, tonight we will study the first chapter of Satyanaryan Vrat Katha. And the theme for tonight is Satyanaryan ki Mahima Tatha Vrat ki Vidhi. The glories of Satyanaryan Bhagwan and the Vidhi. Children, sabko shant rahiye please. You have to be quiet, right? No talking. आप लोग मंदिर में हैं, सुनिए. Thank you. So what is the Vidhi? How did we get this specific puja, Shri Satyanaryan Vrat? So, but before we get into that, let us look at the setting first. My friends, there is a sacred place called Naimisharanya. We have anyone who visited Naimisharanya? Raise your hand if you went to Naimisharanya. Especially my brothers and sisters from India. Kyun nahi gaye? Why haven't you gone? We have to visit these places. This Naimisharanya is an epicenter of learning in Vedic times, up to today. So the Satyanaryan Vrat Katha is taken from the Skanda Purana, Reva Khand. So there was a Maha Yajna going on, Maha Anushtan. Think for a moment. One Yajna for 1,000 years. Sochiye. One Yajna, like what we have here, this puja here. In the morning, the rishis would gather together, Sandhya Vandhana, they'll do Havan Yajna, Vedic Homam. And iske baad, those who have questions about dharma, about spirituality, about Kali Yuga, about Bhagavan, about himself, they would ask questions. And they had one person designated specially to ask questions, and his name was Shaunakji. And one person who would answer his questions, his name was Sut Maharaj. So in Srimad Bhagavad Puran has how many skandhas, how many chapters, how many books? 12 books. So in the first book, discussion number 1, shlok number 4, there's a description of this yajna. Let's look at the shloka. Nimishe nimishakshetre jishe saunakadaya satram swargaya lokaya sahasram samasat. So the rishis gathered for 1,000 years. How many rishis? 88,000 rishis. Think of that for a moment. And one person, before there was parliament in the West here, before there was organized government or people to sit and listen to discussion, thousands of years ago this was going on in India. So all these rishis gathered together, they will perform this yajna, and they would ask questions about spirituality, just like how you have questions about spirituality. Panditji, when I do puja, what will I gain? How should I meditate? How should I perform Sandhya Vandhana? How should I perform Homam? All of these questions they had. And they would ask, Shaunakji will give their question to Shaunakji. Not everyone in the crowd will jump and ask a question. If there is a news conference, everybody will jump and ask. If I were to ask you a question, everyone will jump and want to answer. I'm just looking how organized our rishis were. They would sit quietly and they will forward a question to Shaunakji. Maharaj, ye mera prashna hai. Inse puchiye, ask Sutji. And Sutji would answer the questions accordingly. So this yajna was going on for 1,000 years. Think about that for a moment, friends. You and I sit for puja for 15, 20 minutes. We're tired. We watch our... You know, nothing turns me off when I go for puja in someone's home and the yajman is watching his or her watch, the clock. I just feel like pick my bag up and go home. Ye to apman hai. You make arrangements to do puja and you're in a rush, pyare. I see it quite often. We can't sit for an hour and do puja. Panditji, kitne time lagega? And our rishis, you see how we have drifted away from dharma, pyare? You see how we move far away from the words of the rishis, the teachings of the rishis. That's why we face the consequences in life that we face today, because we have moved away from dharma. We have moved away from the path that these rishis carved for us. Hum rishiyon ke santan hai. Every Brahman person, let me repeat, every Brahman person like you and I are the descendants of the rishis. Doesn't matter what happened in the past or what, when India was invaded by many people. But every Brahman person can trace their lineage back to Saptarishi. And when we do Sankalpa, my friends, not very many people know this. The Yajman may know the Gotra, the lineage he or she has come from, and that has to be mentioned as well. Today, very few people know that. Again, this is just a little example to see how we have moved away from Dharma. So they gathered for this yajna, and Suji and Saunakji, they had this discussion. Now, my friends, the Vedas originally were an oral tradition. Even today in ashrams, when you go to a Gurukul ashram, and the Acharya would teach the students, first, without book, he will say, recite the mantra, Om Sahasra Sirisha Purushottam from Rigved. And the children would listen and repeat the same way. So long before they discovered paper, they used to chant, this is how they used to chant the mantras. Up to today, we have that tradition. The Shishya would listen and repeat exactly as Guruji says. Each Veda has a distinct melody. Rig Veda has a unique melody. Sam Veda, all the music, all the ragas that we sing, you can trace them back to Sam Veda. The mantras of Sam Veda are so melodious. But again, in today's world, Panditji, we chant Purusha Suktam, and we chant Vedic mantras, and people are talking sometimes. Just little examples to see how we are doing the opposite of what we were taught by the rishis. So, Vyasa, there are many Vyasa. Vyasa means a person who takes a little statement, Tattvamasi from the Vedas, and expands it so that you and I can understand. A very brilliant person takes a little statement from the Vedas, jo vistar karne wale hai, who goes in detail to explain so that the average intellect, like you and I, can comprehend. So the title is given to a rishi or a saint, is called Vyasa. But we have Krishna Dvaipan, this particular Vyasa. He did immense service to humanity. Because of him, we have the Vedas and Upanishads and Puranas today. So he gathered all the knowledge that was available in his time. No one wrote the Vedas. Remember this. They're called Apaurushayam. No human intellect composed the Vedas. The rishis received this mantra in their meditation. So he took all the mantras and divided them into 4 categories. Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samveda, and Tharva Veda. So these 4 Vedas he taught his 4 pupils. And again, Srimad Bhagavad Puran, book 1, discussion number 4, mantra 21 to 22, he says, Tattar Rig Veda Pailah Sama Go Jaimini Kavihi Vaishampayana Eko Rishanto Yajama Sutaha. So he gave the Rig Veda to his student that is called Pailah. His Shishya is called Pailah. He taught that one Shishya Rig Veda. Yajur Veda was given to Jaimini. The Sam Veda was given to Vaishampayana. And the Atharva Veda was given to Angiras. So he gave these 4 Shishya these Vedas, and this is how they preserve the Vedas. They pass it from the Guruji to the Shishya, and when the Shishya becomes a Guruji, he passes that knowledge on. That's why we have this Guru Shishya Parampara. This is a chain that we have, starting from Sada Shiva Samarambham, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Shankaracharya. I told you that when you hear it for his Jayanti, if it wasn't for him, all of us would have been converted. There will be no Sanatan Dharma if it wasn't Adi Shankaracharya. So we bow to him. He's middle. Bhagwan Shiva's Dakshinamurti, then Shankaracharya. Iske baad, Asmadacharya Paryantam, our gurus. We bow to the lineage of Guruji. All these gurus. That's why we say, Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha, Bahu Bachan. To all the gurus we bow. So he passed this Vedic knowledge to his 4 Shishya. But then he had knowledge about history and about the kings and geography, astronomy, astrology. So he taught to a special disciple, and the disciple was called Ro Maharshan. That was the father of Suta. So Ro Maharshan received the Puranas from Krishna Dvaipan Vyas. And he passed it on to his son, Suta. So this is how we have the Puranas and the Vedic. This is how they were codified, and this is how they were protected. In spite of the invasion of our dear motherland, Bharat Mata, for over 1,000 years, we still have this tradition today. Why? First and foremost, because of the rishis, and people criticize Brahmin in today's society. People have silly things to say about Brahmin. If it weren't for the Brahmins, there would be no Vedas, there would be no Sanatan Dharma as well. The Brahmin pass it on to their children, to their Shishya. That's how we preserve this Vedic knowledge. Now, Some lip-tart people, let me call for what it is. Oh, you're from... So many silly things you hear people say sometimes. But Mujh mein Ram, Tujh mein Ram. No one is greater than anyone. These four groups are there. Time will not permit us to look at why these four groups are there. Everyone is equally recognized in the Vedic tradition. But what we do, we allow people, outsiders, to come and abuse that system and divide and rule us. And who should we blame for that? Hindus only, no one else. If you know your tradition and you love it, no one can tell you silly things and distract you. So this is how Vyasa passed on this knowledge. So while we're having this discussion, He Mahabuddhi wale Sut, aap samast shastro ke sar ko jaanne wale hai. So Shaunak said, you know all the Shastra by heart. And he asked this question, please tell us, in this age of Kali Yuga, what should we do so that we can gain liberation? Liberation does not mean heaven, does not mean Swarga. Our goal, most of us want to go to Swarga. We want to go to heaven. And we feel that this place, Swarga, we'll go and enjoy ourselves. Everything will be taken care of us. But the goal is not Swarga. The goal is discover who you are, moksha. So while this yajna was going on, all these questions were asked about spirituality. How do we attain moksha? So when Shaunakji asked Sudha this question, how can we worship Bhagavan in Kali Yuga? You see, the rishis were far-sighted. They knew there would come a time where us, their offsprings, would not have much Shraddha in Bhagavan. Instead of practicing our dharma, we'll be taken up with other things. They knew Kali Yuga was fastly approaching, so they wanted a condensed form of worship. So you and I can worship Bhagavan in a condensed way and gain the maximum punya. How dayalu were these rishis? The descendants of, you're all descendants of rishis. How compassionate and kind were our foreparents? They were thinking ahead of their, ahead for their children and grandchildren. So while this was going on, then Sutji told Shaunak of a situation that happened long ago. Narad Muni. Narad Muni had a similar question. And we know Narad Muni. He is the only rishi that can travel from one planet to another with the same physical body. No one else can do that. So Narad Muni had similar questions and he went to Vishnu Bhagavan. In Ramcharitamanas, there's a beautiful Jaupai. Shriman Narayan, 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 Shriman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan.
Oh, Shriman Narayan, 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 Shriman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan,
Shriman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan.
Oh, Shriman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan,
Shriman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan.
Oh, Shriman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan.
एक बार करतल बरवीना, एक बार करतल बरवीना, गावत हरि गुण गान प्रवीणा, क्षीर सिंधु गव he took his karatal in his hand. And where he goes, Shriman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. He went to Vishnu Bhagavan and he had a similar question. What was his question? He came up on earth and he saw people were suffering. Because of their karma, people go through the different cycles of birth and death. And my friends, reincarnation and karma are two facts of life. They're not theory. They're facts of life. So he saw people as a result of their karma going through all of these challenges. People were not practicing dharma. They're not practicing spirituality. They had many pain and suffering. There was absolutely no happiness for them, for bhaktas. Why? They were not following the words of the rishis. So he decided to find a solution. Laghu upaya, a very condensed form of worship. Again, a condensed form of worship whereby the bhaktas will perform this puja, this shraddha, this anushthan, and they get the maximum blessings. So he went to Vishnu Bhagavan in his physical form. Tatra Narayanam Devam Shukla Varnam Chaturbhudam Shankha Chakra Gada Padma Vanamala Vibhushitam. And look at the biggest murti in that set of there is Satyanaryan Bhagavan, Vishnu Bhagavan. Similar form he saw, Vishnu Bhagavan. Shukla Varna, white or as bright light. Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, in the four hands he has all of these things, the Shankha, the Gada, the Padma, the Mala. Narad Muni saw him prostrated immediately to Bhagavan. Bhagavan saw him, Naradji, yahan kyun aaye? Why have you come here, Narad Muni? Tell me, something is bothering you. Narad Muni, Prabhu, you know, there are many shlokas where he glorified Bhagavan. Time may not permit us to look at all those shlokas. He said, Prabhu, I've toured all the planets. I came to earth and I saw the misery of people upon this earth. Please give me a condensed puja whereby I can go and inspire them. So Narada Muni asked 4 significant questions of Sri Satyanaryan Vrat Katha. And these questions are from the 16th shloka. Om Shri Satyadevaya Namo Namah Kim Phalam Kim Bhidhanancha Kritam Kenaiva Tadvratam. And the first question, Prabhu, you give me this condensed form of puja. What is the reward? You know, anything we do in life, even puja, archana, anything we do spiritually or socially in life, we want to know what's the reward. If I form friendship with someone, what is the reward from that friendship? Will he or she help me get a job? Can I move up the ranks at work if I become friends with the manager? Anything we do, we want to know what we can gain. Nothing wrong with that. Artha and Kama, we are entitled to that. So, by performing this puja, what will bhaktas gain? Dukkha shok adi shamanam dhanadhanya pravardhanam. There'll be a cessation of pain and suffering. And that's enough. When we worship Bhagavan, we want Bhagavan to take all these pain and suffering as far as possible. Isn't that true? Even if you want to do seva and puja to Bhagavan, and there's not a healthy body, medically you can't do anything. You can't sit for puja. When we pray, first and foremost, as you become a little older, as you become like in the 40s, when you start feeling some pain in your knees, Prabhu, mujhe health do, please. Give me good health, Prabhu. So what is the reward from this puja? All pain and suffering will be removed. Dhanadhanya pravardhanam. There will be an increase in wealth, prosperity. One will gain financially. Kimartam kim vidhanancha. What is the procedure of this puja? Again, I told you earlier, everything we do, every Vedic Anushtan, there is a Vidhi Vidhan, how it ought to be done. We have to follow the procedure, my friends. And the procedure teaches us in Karmakand, the Vedas can be roughly divided into two parts. We have Karmakand, the first section, and the second portion is called Jnanakand or the Upanishads. Hamare bas ke baat nahi hai Upanishad. They talk about knowledge of the self, about moksha, about self-realization. But that should not stop us from reading the Upanishads. Read the Upanishads, like Shaunakji, ask questions when you meet some Mahatma, some great individual who knows the Shastra. So in Karma Kand, every puja we do, every Vedic, and mark my words, a Hindu, first and foremost, should never refer to the murti as statue. I hear, Pandit, you have statues at home. I won't answer such a question. आपके पास क्या है? Statues. अरे, statue की पूजा करते हो ना? ये मूर्ति है. How are you going to say you have statues, प्यारे? Never refer to Bhagwan murti as statues. ये तो मूर्ति है. That's the first one. And this vidhan, when we perform it, it should be performed with Shraddha and Bhakti. Whatever you do, sit with faith and devotion. If you can't sit on the ground, sit on a comfortable seat. Prepare your puja on a table for elderly people. I have no problem with that. Bhagwan आपसे नाराज नहीं होंगे. If you sit on table and chair and do your puja, Bhagwan will get angry at you. हमारे भगवान ऐसा नहीं है. If you can't sit properly on the ground, put your Vedi on a table. Sit in a comfortable chair whereby you're comfortable and you can focus on what is being done. So what is the vidhan? You have to fast. And when I say fast, though for non-vegetarians, if you want to do puja in your home, at least 2 weeks before the puja, you should not eat non-vegetarian food. Give it up. And for those vegetarians, you give up onion and garlic 2 weeks before your puja. Vidhi hai pyare. If you want to gain the punya, you have to follow the rules. That's all. So what is the vidhan? The vidhan is Satyanaryan Vrat Katha. So, kritam kenaiva tad vratam, when it ought to be performed. Yasmin kasmin dine martye bhakti shraddha samanvita, on any day and on any time. This is one puja. You don't have to check auspicious day, auspicious time, what nakshatra is ruling. You don't have to check all of those things for Satyanaryan Vrat Puja. Any day and any time. So yasmin kasmin dine martye. And this word martye is an interesting word. Martya is referred to a human being. Another Sanskrit word. Why? It came from mrityu. Martya came from the word mrityu, means death. Why we call martya? Because all of us, it doesn't matter how much you try, you're not getting out here alive. You have to die. Yaad rakho. That's why the word martya is used here in this situation. You see, to understand Vedic Dharma Pyare, you have to have a little basic understanding of Sanskrit. Hindi and English can't do justice to these mantras. Any of the regional language cannot do justice to Sanskrit. Sanskrit is Sanskrit. Matribhasha. इसलिए मातृभाषा है ना. And there are two kinds of Sanskrit. There's Vedic Sanskrit, where these mantras are composed in. It's the most difficult one. And there's classical Sanskrit, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, Kagabushundi Ramayana, and Mahabharata. Those are in classical Sanskrit. So it can be performed on any day, any time. But how it ought to be performed? Bhakti, Shraddha, Samanvita, with strong faith and devotion. When you sit for puja, you don't worry who is coming. Oh, my guests are not coming, it's getting late. Or you're thinking about something else. No. Mat sochiye. Bhagwan ke baare mein sochiye. Think of Bhagwan only when you sit for puja. So this is the procedure. When you perform it in such a way, there will be dhanadhanya pravardhanam, increase in wealth and prosperity. You will be blessed with santati karam, you will be blessed with dharmic children as well. Mark my word, dharmic children. When we perform the puja, and when we have the children at home, we try our best to raise them in this dharmic tradition. Teach them whatever you know about dharma. So these are the rewards. So Narad Muni came upon earth and he spread this message. Bhagwan also talked about the prasad. When we perform the prasad, when we prepare the prasad for Bhagwan, it must be prepared in a certain way. And the word that Vyasa used there, if you don't have atta, flour, you can use rice flour instead. And I thought about this katha, this many years ago. This word rice flour can be used. And I've come from a situation, a country, my dear friends, Guyana, where we had a dictator who banned atta, who banned dal, who banned chana. Mataji, छोड़िए, बैठिए please. बैठिए, इस समय पूजा करने का समय नहीं, बैठिए please. No one should be getting up at this time. Please don't offer anything at this time. बैठिए please. So how can a Hindu person live without dal? Aloo he banned as well. How can he live without dal, aloo? You can live without roti. So probably Vyasa knew that his children will move. These rishis knew that the children will move, will relocate from Bihar and other parts of India to Guyana, to Trinidad, to Suriname. There will come a time in the future where this dictator would ban atta. So इसीलिए लिखा है साली चूरना, rice flour we can use instead. ये तो प्रभु की कृपा. Think of it. Think about that for a moment. How can you live without these basic things? That's what we grew up in Ghana, under the dictatorship of an African dictator in Ghana. That's why there's a lot of Guyanese around the world get away from that situation. So every time we talk about dictatorship, I have experienced that in my personal life. And when this word rice law came, it brought me back to this whole research I had to do, why this word was used in want of flour. Jante the, that we will come in a situation where we would even get atta to make roti. So when you prepare this prasad, there's something called sawa ke naap se in Hindi. Kya hai? Was sawa ke naap se. And you know, it's a Hindu tradition. If you have puja in your home or the mandir, you invite 50 people. How many people you cook for? At least 100. Isn't that true? Right? So when you prepare prasad, Bhagwan is saying, do not be exact. Use in English a measure and a quarter. Sawa ke naap se. Make extra prasad. So if anyone comes by, and please note, Atiti Deva Bhava, ye to hamare parampara hai. Anyone who have puja in your home or friends will just show up like that. Without calling. This society, can I come and visit you? Can I do this? No. Atiti Deva Bhava. Friends just show up like that and there's prasad, there's bhojan for everyone. So when you prepare this prasad, don't be kanjusi mat karna. Don't be exact with your prasad. Katha for any bhakta you will share this prasad with. Prepare your prasad. Have the best of fruits. Kele, seb, the best of fruits. I told you earlier during puja sometimes, you'll be amazed sometimes. Bhaktas will bring some bananas and some fruits for Bhagwan that they would not eat at home. Bad quality. ऐसा क्यों करते? And still be कब कृपा करेंगे प्रभु? And we put a few rotten bananas before Bhagwan. I'm a practical person. I call it for what is it. I'm not here for people to like me. I'm here to say what the Shastra has to say. Whether you like it or not, I can't do anything. क्या करूं? The truth hurts. The truth hurts. People put some bananas before Bhagwan. They won't eat those bananas. Bhagwan says the best of prasad you make. Whatever you make, the best you place before Bhagwan. When prasad is offered in such a way, with Shraddha and Bhakti, Bhagwan does taste our prasad. Now, let me ask you a rhetorical question. Don't answer me, think about it. We place our prasad Bhagwan ke samne prasad rakhte hai. Kindly turn your phones off, please. Everyone, please put your phones off. Out of respect for puja, please put your phones off. Thank you. भगवान हमारे प्रसाद कैसे खाते हैं? How does Bhagwan eat our prasad? दृष्टि से प्रसाद खाते हैं. Just looks at it. When Pratishtha is done, like our murti is here, you place the prasad like that before Bhagwan. And Prabhu, ये तो हमारे प्रसाद है. स्वीकार कीजिए प्रभु. Accept this prasad. So the prasad must be offered with Shraddha and Bhakti. You place it before Bhagwan. And when you place your prasad, we see sometimes people, they just throw the fruits like that. क्या करते हैं? There's a vidhi, there's a vidhan how it ought to be performed. And if you notice, since the mandir has been in existence, when we praise prasad, we usually touch it to the mouth of Bhagwan. You see some bhaktas will do that. They'll put their bananas right by Bhagwan. ये तो भक्ति की बात है. प्रभु मैं आपको खिलाता हूँ. मैं आपको खिलाती हूँ. I'm feeding you this banana. Accept my prasad. It has to be done with Shraddha, pyare. So you don't throw your prasad like that. Sometimes people bring banana to the thing, they have the whole bag tied up like that, and they go before Bhagwan. Nahi, aisa mat karo. Place it in a nice, we have thali. Take a thali, place it, and when you finish, please wash the thali, because we have no paid staff. I have to add that too, right? We have thalis in there. Place your prasad nicely in there. Bhagwan ke samne jai, prasad lekar jai. Thali ko sajai. Place your prasad, pyare. When you have an honored guest in your home, how do you prepare for that guest? Let us say the Prime Minister is visiting you for dinner. What will you do? Would you have brown bananas? You'll have fruits with the tag, paste on it, on the apples and the banana? You'll make sure they're washed and they're clean. अरे भगवान के लिए करते हैं, ऐसा क्यों करते हैं? Take the tag off. Wash it. When I say wash it, don't stand in the pipe and wash it for 10 minutes and waste water. थोड़ा सा पानी डालिए, ऐसा डालिए. It's a vidhi प्यारे. Because you don't know who touched it at the store. If it's possible, take it home, wash your prasad and take come to the mandir. If not, it has to be done in such a way, my friends. Take out the tag from the thing. You won't do that to any guest in your home. ये भगवान के लिए, the most important person in our lives. So these are the instructions Bhagwan gives to Narad Muni. This is how you prepare your prasad, and you go before Bhagwan and you offer. Bhakti, Shraddha, Samanvita, with strong faith and devotion. Anything you offer to Bhagwan, remember my friends, any relationship with Bhagwan is a non-demanding relation. Bhagwan doesn't demand anything from you. Isn't that true? हमारे श्रद्धा है. It's our love for Bhagwan and our faith that we will offer to Bhagwan. We want to offer the best prasad. So when we go before Bhagwan, Prabhu, this is the best I have. I prepared a lot of Shraddha, Bhakti, and please accept it. Swikar kijiye. And hold it before Bhagwan and close your eyes and offer to Bhagwan. One child told me one time, Panditji, why do you close your eyes when you offer prasad? I said, Beta, the Vidhi says, he didn't say to close your eyes, but I close my eyes out of respect. Here, you know, the child asked me, don't you want to see when Bhagwan will eat your prasad? It's a very interesting question. Don't you want to see when Bhagwan khate hai? As I said, Bhagwan is by looking at the prasad only. So in such a way, when you prepare for puja, my friends, you win the grace of Bhagwan, you earn the kripa of Bhagwan, because you did exactly what ought to be done according to the Shastra. You follow the Vidhi. So we start dhyan, we contemplate on Bhagavan. Dhyan karte. Shri Satyanaryan Namah Dhyayami. We contemplate on Bhagavan. Then Avahan. Why do we do Avahan? We invite Bhagavan to come. Kyun Bhagavan omnipresent Panditji? Avahan kyun karte ho? Our minds do not allow us to think of Bhagavan at all times. Isn't that true? Bhagavan sarvatra hai. Bhagwan is omnipresent, but somehow, everyone please come forward a little bit. आगे बढ़िए please. आगे बढ़िए सबको. आगे बढ़िए please. और लोग आते हैं. आगे बढ़िए please. Thank you. आगे बढ़िए please. Thank you. So, Bhagwan sarvatra hai. Why do we avan? So that our minds can be aware of Bhagwan's presence. At least we want to be aware of Bhagwan's presence during the puja. Then asan. We offer a seat to Bhagwan. What kind of seat do we offer to Bhagwan? He is the creator of the galaxies. Everything came out of Bhagwan. All of these planets. And there are billions and billions. You look at the Milky Way, you see, there is no word to describe the Milky Way. And it's written, Kshira Sagar is written in our Shastra. They were criticizing Hindus before they discovered the Milky Way. Oh, you Hindus are talking about the Milky Way. What is the Milky Way? Now they know about Kshira Sagar. All of these planets. Everything came out of Bhagavan. So how can we give such a Bhagavan an asan? At least during the puja, we can be aware that Bhagavan is present in that murti for us. That's the beauty about Sagunupasana, pyare. Then we follow Padya Argya. We offer Vastra to Bhagavan. Yagyopapita. Everything we offer to Bhagavan with Shraddha and Bhakti. When Panditji gives you the flower, you don't throw the flower like that. You place it nicely at Bhagavan's feet. Right? Because it's an expression of your Shraddha. This was the Vidhi Narad Muni received from Vishnu Bhagavan, and he came and he spread this message of Satyanaryan Vrat Katha upon the earth. This happened thousands of years ago. And this was the discussion going on in Naimisharanya, where all the saints and sages gathered together and they were asking questions. Suta was answering the questions and Shaunakji was asking. Suta was giving all the answers to the questions. So, my dear friends, when this puja is done with Shraddha and Bhakti, you can see difference in your life. You know, in any mandir, in any place of worship, where puja is done properly, the whole vatavaran, the whole atmosphere changes. Acha bataiye. Sach bataiye. When you come in and you open the door and come in, is that a nice feeling? If you walk in Sankat, Mochan, Hanuman, but I didn't feel something, you're lacking in bhakti. I have to say it. I can't say it anyway better than that. When you walk in I know some places you walk in, you walk in a building, some mandir. But when you walk in a place where puja is done properly, where Shraddha, when Vidhi Vidhan is followed, there's some connection there. When we come into the mandir, in the presence of Bhagavan, we can feel Bhagavan's presence. That's why we come for darshan, pyare. That's why we come for darshan. Air is present all over. Bhagavan is present all over. Why we come to the mandir? Why when there is a puncture tire, you go to the air shop? Why Bhagavan sarvatra hai? Why you come to the mandir? Because the presence is so strong in the mandir that you can make connection. इसलिए दर्शन के लिए जाते हैं. Remember that, my friends. We come because it's easy to connect with Bhagavan. When we sit here and Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Namah Shivaya, you can be lost in meditation quickly. So when puja is done with faith and devotion, we can see the reward. Now tomorrow night, just a little teaser for tomorrow night, we look at the first person who performed this puja. Again, these 5 nights we look at each chapter in some detail. The first chapter, we looked at about 8 or 10 verses. The first chapter has 26 verses. But this is the essence of the entire first chapter that we've talked about so far. Then tomorrow night, we look at the first person who performed this puja. How or why this person performed this puja, and what were the benefits this person got by performing this puja. You know, my friends, it doesn't matter if you're a Hindu from India, from Ghana, Trinidad, Africa, it doesn't matter which part of the world you're from. Everyone does Satyanaryan puja in their homes. Isn't that true? This is one puja that is so popular among Sanatanists across the world. In our homes, back home, we used to do it once a year. We have come to this part of the world and we forgot that. Isn't that true? Just shake your head, acknowledge what I'm saying. Ye to satya hai. Shake your head, it's truth. क्यों नहीं करते? आप busy है, कोई बात नहीं. Life happens. We're living in this metropolis, so many things we have to do within 24 hours. If you can't do it in your home, याद रखिए, every month on Purnima, we do it in this mandir here. The same sequence where everybody comes, offer Abhishek. Everybody brings their prasad. They offer flowers. It's done for, in the Sankalpa, what do we say, Panditji, in the Sankalpa?
Loka samasta.
Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. It's done for the entire universe. It's done for the entire universe. So if you can't do it in your home, please come and be involved at the mandir. Or any mandir that's close by to your home where this puja is done. I know some places you want for Satyanaryan puja, we heard sometimes, 15-20 minutes, Panditji is finished, Aarti hogi, shortcut in Kali Yoga, everybody's in a rush. No, we try to do it according to the Vidhi Vidhan. Because it's a process to be done. Let us go through it quickly. Ganapati puja, standard. Varun puja, standard. Navagraha puja, standard. Iske baad, we have to do Ashtatik Pal puja. Vishnu Bhagavan is invoked in east, west, north and south, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. In all the directions of this universe, Vishnu Bhagavan is invoked. Iske baad, then we do dhyan to Satyanaryan Bhagavan. Then we commence his puja. So again, when it's done according to the Shastra, according to the words of Vishnu Bhagavan himself, this is the parampara we follow. Vishnu Bhagavan to Narad Muni and then to us here. We gain the maximum punya. I will just share a little story. I don't want you to do this puja for material benefits only. That's part of it. Part of doing the puja, you will get material benefits. I know quite a few extremely wealthy business people here in Canada, back home in other parts of the world. Every Purnima, they will do this puja. But I'm not telling you to do it for that purpose, right? Do it for bhakti. I know for families for the past 50-something years, they've been doing this puja every Purnima. Their children, the whole family, they're bhaktas of Bhagavan, they're healthy, they're loving, they're kind people. This is the reward of the puja when it's done with Shraddha and Bhakti. It may be impossible for you to do it every month, but if you can fast in Purnima. No, why Purnima is so important? Full moon, why is so important? Okay, let me आप लोगों से पूछ रहा हूँ. I'm asking you all. Someone please tell me why full moon is so important. Anyone knows? Please tell me. Why it's considered very auspicious to do Satyanaryan Bhagavan Puja on Purnima? Anyone please answer me? बताइए please. सिद्धार्थ आगे बताइए क्यों? I have to call out someone. Why? There's full moon. Right? You see the tides of the ocean. They just want to reach or touch the moon. And what the Vedas say? That's why we have to turn to the Shastra, pyare. The answer to all these questions can be found. Chandrama manaso jataha chakshoso jo ajayatha. The moon has an influence on the mind. Do you know around full moon time, people who suffer from mental problems, they have a difficult time around full moon time. The mind will play all kinds of tricks on them. So when it's on a full moon, it's easier for you and I to control the mind. Why? The moon has an influence on the mind. If you can't do it on full moon, just fast. Come to the Mandir whenever you can. We perform the puja according to the Vidhi Vidhan. You see that beautiful set of murtis here is donated by Chetram Bhai and family, one bhakta of the Mandir. You know where that gentleman lives? He lives all the way at the end of Richmond Hill. To come here, it takes him an hour. He's not here today. Chetram Bhai, but he works all the way in Mississauga. He finds it difficult. But he comes regularly for Purnima and Hanuman Puja. So he and his family sponsor this beautiful murti. And Panditji measured the size, measured the nose of Bhagavan, measured the cheeks of Bhagavan, inch by inch, and sent instructions to India. So that this is the murti hame chahiye. So what you're seeing there is the result of many, many months of back and forth discussion over the phone, email, that this is what we want. This is how the murti should look. And that crown is covering the actual crown on the murti, and that's gold-plated. So that is why the cost of that set is how much? $5,500 for that set. That family sponsored it. What kind of marble is called?
Rajasthani Makrana marble.
Yeah, the best quality of marble. Again, we're going to do something for Bhagavan, it has to be done to the best of our ability. So that's why when Pratishtha was done on Akshaya Tritiya, about 8-10 days ago. So when you go before that murti and look at the murti, you can feel as if you're seeing Bhagavan in the murti. This is the beauty of Sagunupasana, my friends. So in conclusion, we talked about the Vidhi, who received this puja, and the discussion in Naimisharanya, the epicenter of learning. Even today, some people perform kathas, they go to Naimisharanya to perform katha. Narad Muni received it from Vishnu Bhagavan, and he came and spread the message upon this earth. This is how we have the tradition of Shri Satyanaryan Vrat Katha. Tomorrow night we look at the bhaktas, two bhaktas, who performed this puja, and how they were blessed with material wealth, with all the comforts of life. And on Saturday night, we look at all of these bhaktas that are involved. These two bhaktas who performed this puja, and other bhaktas who performed this puja, and one bhakta who bargained with Bhagavan and felt that he was so smart. You know, we feel that we're so smart. And we feel like we can outsmart Bhagavan sometimes. Some of us feel that way, right? आप लोग नहीं है, other people. आप लोग भक्त हैं. Some people they can outsmart Bhagavan. The third chapter tells us of one bhakta who believed that he could ask for things and won't keep his promise. And he had to be taught important lessons. So all of these prasang, all these chapters are there to teach us the importance of worshipping Satya. Truth is one. Ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti. The truth can only be one. Many names. No one has exclusive rights upon this truth. No tradition has exclusive rights on Bhagavan. Every person is the birthright of every person, the birthright of every culture to worship Bhagavan, how they feel right. So this is how we will continue the Katha for the rest of the week. And those bhaktas again who perform this puja, how they will bless in their next life. So let me ask you a rhetorical question. Again, don't ask me. Do you think you're okay? Let me put it this way. All those who seek moksha in this life, raise your hand. Those who seek moksha in this life, raise your hand. Hath uthaiye. The rest of you, what do you want? Kya chahiye? What do you want? No, for those who do not raise their hand. Jo raise their hand, aho bhagya aap log. But those who did not raise their hand, kya chahiye? Is samsar se kya lena dena? What do you want to do with this world, pyare? Aspire for moksha. How do we aspire for that? When? Don't tell me, Panditji, when I retire, I'll come and do Satyanaryan Bhagavan puja once a month. Don't waste your breath. When is the best time for it? Right here, right now. There's never a special time. Right here, right now is the best time. Please aspire. You know, if you look at this whole world, 7.5 billion people, just a handful of people seek moksha, you know. We can break it down, let us say, 10 million people who aspire for moksha. Who really are working towards moksha, we can break it down to a couple thousand. And those 1,000, you can call me biased, but that's okay. Most of those 1,000 can be found in the Himalayas in India. Call me biased because I'm a Hindu. Bas, baki samsari log. So our goal is to aspire for heaven. This Satyanaryan Vrat Katha, these bhaktas who perform this Katha, they all attain moksha in their next life. So our goal is moksha, pyare, mat bhuliye. Never forget. You have many things to do. Children, you have to go to university, you have a career, you have to get married, you have to get children. But at the back of your head, remember, all of those things are important. Yes, much more important. Parents, please instill this in your children. Much more important than that is to know who you are. And when you know who you are, that is moksha. All of these things will come and go. Your doctor, and I pray that Bhagavan bless you and fulfill those desires. We need doctors and lawyers. I shouldn't say liars because sometimes they lie too much. We need more doctors. I'm a practical person. So we need all of these things, but it doesn't matter how educated, how much things you have to retire. You have to give up everything. And so many people, they become depressed when they retire. Well, twice they're set for many lives. Knowledge, you have all of these things, but man mein shanti nahi hai bhaiya. Although we have all of these things, there is no peace. Puja paat mein shanti hai. Mandir seva karna mein shanti hai. Sitting and doing meditation, coming for Hanuman puja, Satyanaryan Bhagavan puja, you can never find the peace that you find sitting in puja. You can't find it anywhere else. इसलिए याद रखिए मेरे प्यारे भाई और बहनों और children. It doesn't matter whatever you want to acquire in this life, work towards it. Remember, your goal is moksha, to discover who you are. Satyanaryan Bhagavan puja will help us to acquire that goal. बोलिए सत्यनारायण भगवान की जय, रामचंद्र भगवान की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय. There's one short bhajan we'll sing, and then we'll conclude. We'll do Havan and conclude. Bhajman Narayan Narayan, kya hasana kya rona. When things go for us, good for us, we're jumping for joy. The moment something does not go good, देखो भगवान क्या करते हैं ना? Who do we blame? Bhagavan first we blame. So our life becomes like a yo-yo. How can we find peace? How can we find stability in life? इसलिए टेक भगवान्स नेम, बिकॉज कुटुंब कबीला बेटा बेटी सब अपने कर्मों की खेती. They all have to go through their karmas, प्यारे. Everyone has to face the consequences of their karmas. मीठा फल घर जग में चाहे, बीच न करवा हो ना पगले. If you desire sweet fruit in this world, just sow the seed of good karma. Do the right thing at the right time. But हम सब जानते हैं. We know we have to do the right thing at the right time. What we do? I'm going to dodge it. I'm smart. I can outsmart Bhagavan. I can outsmart everyone else. Karma catches up with everyone. This is a bhajan I'm 99% sure our foreparents brought when they came to Guyana and Trinidad. Because I researched and I searched all sources, I cannot find this bhajan in any other source. Bhajman Narayan Narayan,
Bhajman Narayan Narayan,
Bhajman Narayan Narayan,
Bhajman Narayan Narayan.
क्या हंसना क्या रोना पगले, होगा वही जो होना.
भजमन
नारायण नारायण,
भजमन नारायण नारायण.
क्या हंसना क्या रोना पगले, होगा वही जो होना.
भजमन नारायण नारायण, भजमन नारायण नारायण.
कुटुंबक बेला बेटा बेटी सब अपने कर्मों की खेती. मीठा फल घर जग में चाहे, मीठा फल घर जग में चाहे. बीच न करवाओ ना पगले, बीच न करवाओ ना.
भजमन नारायण नारायण, भजमन
नारायण
नारायण.
क्या हंसना क्या रोना पगले, होगा वही जो होना.
भजमन
नारायण नारायण, भजमन नारायण नारायण. श्री सत्यनारायण भगवान की
जय.
जय.